All right, well, I want to thank you for coming today for our first nutritional seminar of 2026. And while nutrition is very important, we want to connect it to your chiropractic care because we feel in chiropractic that if the body has the right nutrients, it's going to heal at a better rate and it's going to maintain at a better rate. So the things that I want to teach you today are how to maximize your chiropractic care with high quality nutritional supplementation. We'll discuss common health conditions and natural solutions to those common health conditions. We'll learn about the 4 types of nutritional supplement quality. We'll talk about the difference on how medication works in your body versus nutritional supplements. We'll describe each of the popular supplements that we see on a weekly and monthly and yearly basis. And we'll talk about what nutritional antagonists are, the things that deplete your body of the good stuff. And then we'll talk about the stuff that I actually take so you guys can get a feel for practicing what I preach. So the first thing I want to start with is talking about a concept that we came up with years ago, and it's called the chiropractic lifestyle. And you see that you've got a picture of a flower on your sheet there, and there's 8 petals in the flower that we've designed. Got to put one more in there. And in the middle is your chiropractic care. That's the center around the things that revolve around it. But one of the common things we find is people think they go to a chiropractor and, I went once and it didn't work. And they don't understand that it's part of taking care of your body, just like brushing your teeth or eating good food or exercising or drinking good water, like changing the oil in your car. It's about a maintenance thing. So we want people to be thinking about what we're going to talk about today is their nutrition, also their hydration. Are we keeping enough fluid in our body? Sleep. How are we sleeping? Do we have toxins in our body? So we'll talk about, part of the chiropractic lifestyle is how do we cleanse our body and keep the bad stuff out? Massage. Supports, that would be like if you strain your elbow, you might wear an elbow support or a knee support. Wearing good shoes with good orthotic support in them. Pillows, so we talk about supports. All right, and we won't talk about the mental aspect today, the mental and spiritual, but that's a very important part of your health. And exercise. And next month, our next seminar in the series is going to be taught by Dr. Nathan, who is a specialist in exercise and doing the things to properly take care of your body. So if we look at the nutrition, the water, the sleep, the detoxification, massage, supports, mental, spiritual, exercise, all support your chiropractic care. And that's a very important part of the whole chiropractic lifestyle. Now, I found a survey a few months ago, and it was a survey that was done in 2024, and it was done by the Nutritional Conservation Society. And what they're looking is, how are people taking supplements? Who's taking supplements? Where are they buying them from? And they found that actually 75% of the people in the United States take something. 75%. I was surprised at that number. And of that 75%, 91% of those people feel that it's very important for maintaining their health. Well, the most common thing that people take is a multivitamin. Why do they take multivitamins? Because it covers everything, right? And that's the theory behind that. Centrum Silver is the most commonly purchased supplement in the United States. And it's of dubious quality. They also found that of the people who don't take supplements, this was a survey of almost 3,200 people, of the people who don't take supplements, 41% said that they don't have a perceived need for them. So they haven't learned on why supplements are good for them. So why should we take supplements? Any thoughts on that? Why should we take them?
Because nobody's perfect. You're not born perfect, and as you age, your body just disintegrates, just like a car or anything else. So, but everybody's unique, so you gotta play it the best you can.
Have you ever heard of a term called nutritional antagonist? Before I said it a little while ago.
Yes.
A nutritional antagonist, what would you say that is, Harold?
Somebody that doesn't really want to take care of their bodies, they just want to function and live as they wish.
That's an interesting definition. That's not the definition that I have. I think you're right that there are people who are naysayers for sure. But what we call a nutritional antagonist in the healthcare industry is something that you're doing that's depleting your body of nutrition. What are some of those things? Aging, tobacco, alcohol, even good stuff. Excessive exercise can deplete your body of nutrients. You could be born in an area where they don't have the right nutrients in the soil. Like, for example, here in southeastern Michigan, selenium is missing in the soil. So everybody should be taking selenium as a primary nutrient because it's not in the stuff that we are eating from a local standpoint. Being out in the sun, being in cold weather, the weather changes, the weather pattern, all of these things affect our body. And the Centers for Disease Control, I mean, this is like the big guys. The Centers for Disease Control say that 90% of illness starts with a deficiency of some nutrient. 90% of illness starts with a deficiency of some nutrient. So, what are the quality types? Quality matters no matter what you're doing. Whether it's what you're saying, it's what you're doing, how you're exercising, what you're eating. Nutritional supplements have 4 basic quality levels. They're at the lowest level is veterinary. And veterinary supplements aren't bad for humans. We just can't digest them. If you have a dog, you know the dog will eat tree bark. They'll eat leaves. They'll eat anything they find on the street, and their system can digest it because their stomach acid is so strong. But humans can't digest it. And the quality of a nutritional supplement is in your 12-hour digestive window, can you break it down, dissolve it, and absorb it? And if you can't, then you're not getting much of that nutrient. So the next lowest quality, or the next highest quality, but the lowest quality for human consumption is called the nutraceutical quality. And nutraceutical quality is what you find at CVS and Costco and Walmart and Walgreens and Rite Aid. So the commonly available stuff, a lot of the stuff you see advertised on television, the miracle supplements that you can take, from everything from Super Beets to the I don't know what, that's mostly nutraceutical. And the reason that it's so common is because it's the least expensive to manufacture. It's usually at a price point that most people don't feel a strain to be able to purchase it, and it's available everywhere. But why is it at a low price point? Why is it easy to manufacture? Well, because it's very coarse. And the coarse supplements, that 12-hour window, you can't dissolve it and break it down. So with a nutraceutical supplement, reports say that you're only getting about 25% of what's on the label. The next level up is medical grade. And medical grade, if you've ever had a prescription written for you from your medical doctor, medical grade uses the highest quality nutrients. They're available only by prescription, and it's usually from your medical doctor. And we don't see much of that anymore because it has gone up to the next level, which is pharmaceutical grade. We're not seeing many prescription medications, but we do see pharmaceutical grade supplements that are made with the same standards that the FDA requires of the drug manufacturers. It's the best ingredients you can find, and they're independently certified by another source other than the manufacturer. So they got the best ingredients, they're independently certified. These are the ones that you can take, and it's the only supplements that we carry in our office. It's the only ones that we recommend. It's the only ones that I take, because the most expensive supplement you can take is the one that you can't absorb. So if you're taking something that you're not getting anything from it, it's a waste of your time and your money. And sometimes a bad supplement or a low quality supplement can also become a nutritional antagonist,
Right.
because your body has to spend energy to break it down. We sometimes will take x-rays of patients and see vitamin capsules in their body, especially the ones that have calcium in them. Metal, they're not digesting them. They're still in their digestive system. They're not breaking them down. So we talk about the quality of supplements, and we want to make sure we're taking good quality. But how does a supplement work in your body versus medication? Well, if you just think of this simple line, is medication forces, nutrition nurtures. Medication forces, nutrition nurtures. And by forcing, it means that the medication forces your body to do something it doesn't want to do. And that's where the side effects come from. Your body will fight against it, and you may get digestive issues, you may get headaches, you may get dehydration, you may get sinus issues. These things happen because your body doesn't want that chemical in your body, and so it fights against it. And I'm not saying you shouldn't take medication if your doctor prescribes it for you. I'm just saying that your body doesn't like it. So if we can find a nutritional solution that replaces a medication, you're much farther off, because nutritional supplements have to dissolve, your body absorbs them, and your body is so smart, it sends it to the place that needs it. And then that tissue starts to heal. So when you take a medication, you feel the effects immediately. When you take a supplement, you don't notice it for probably 2 to 3 months. So we like to tell people, when you're starting a new regime of nutritional supplementation, give it 3 months before you judge whether you feel like it's helping you with your particular condition. And then the last thing that I want you to know is how this nutrition dovetails with your chiropractic care. There are 2 basic types of subluxations of your spine, where the bone is out of place and it causes nerve pressure. The most common that people come to us for, their back hurts, meaning that their spine went out of alignment. They feel the pain in that area, and we adjust them, and that improves it, and they feel better. That's called a somatic subluxation. A visceral subluxation is where the organ gets sick first. It sends a reflex arc back to the spine and causes a subluxation in the spine. And many times those visceral subluxations are due to a nutritional deficiency. So if we can eat good food, and we can exercise, and we can drink water, and we can take care of ourselves and take quality targeted supplements, our adjustments are going to hold better, and our body's going to do better overall. So what are some of the common things that we do? And there is no one supplement that handles everything. It's the myth of the multivitamin. I'm not saying you shouldn't take a multivitamin, but that doesn't cover everything, because it's usually in very small amounts. In order to make a multivitamin large enough to have all the stuff, we wouldn't be able to swallow it. It'd be so big. So we should be looking at having base nutrition, eating good food, eating real food, staying away from bad foods, fast foods, things that are highly processed, staying away from those as much as we can, and then hitting targeted areas based upon, like you said, Barbara, our uniqueness. Each one of us is unique. So I want to start off with gut health. And gut health is probably one of the biggest problems that Americans suffer from on a daily basis. And some people don't even tell you about it because they're uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. And gut health is so important. You've got, your digestive system is like a sewer system. Your mouth is the sink, and then the throat and stomach is the trap, and then the drain out to the street, and all that has to work, and there are valves that have to open, there are valves that have to close. We digest food with enzymes in our saliva, with acid in our stomach, and with bacteria in our colon. And what do most doctors give people when they have digestive issues? Antacids. Well, we need the acid. It's not that we have too much acid, it's that the acid is in the wrong place, because our digestive system is too slow, and the food in our stomach is actually rotting because we're not digesting it properly. So probiotics came out, and everybody knows what probiotics are, and that's to put the grass seed back into your colon. But if we don't think about the enzymes that are in our saliva, those enzymes are very important to start the breaking down process. So when we look at gut health, we look at the prebiotics, which are the enzymes. We look at a product that has hydrochloric acid in it, which is the acid in our stomach, and we also look at a third product that would have the bacteria in it. And when we look at the bacteria, one of our patients this week came in and said, oh, I take probiotics every day. I've been doing it for years, but it doesn't seem to help. I said, well, bring in what you're taking and let me see it. And it turns out that it was missing a key ingredient, and it was very low dose. So it wasn't enough to help her over the hump. So one of the things that one of the companies, Orthomolecular, does that we have is they base the potency of their probiotics on either 20 billion, 100 billion, or 225 billion cultures that are in there. I don't know who counts them, but they're in the capsules. These are tubes of powder. And the 20 billion is like grass seed. The 100 billion is like grass seed and weed killer. And the 225 is like putting new sod in. So for me, I don't take probiotics every day, but when I travel and my diet changes, I'll take the 225s for a couple of days to kind of settle my system back into normal, and everything's fine. I personally don't have a problem with the enzymes themselves, but we should be thinking with the trifecta of enzymes, acid, and bacteria. That's what digests our food. And so many people could be helped so much by just making a couple of little changes in that area. Immune health. What part of your body runs the immune system? The whole body. The whole body. So the immune category has the most supplements in it because it hits all these different areas. Vitamin D, we've all heard about the importance of vitamin D, but if you don't take vitamin D with vitamin K, it doesn't get absorbed very well. And so you have to have a combination of D and K. I recommend for our male patients to take 1 capsule of D3K2 in the winter months and don't take it in the summer. But for women who tend to have a deficiency of vitamin D, we tell them to take 2 in the winter and 1 in the summer. When you're out in the sun, Harold, when you're digging holes in your yard and planting flowers and you're getting sun, you're making your own vitamin D. That's the best vitamin D there is. But sometimes we need some extra boost there, and women tend to need more than men. And vitamin D and vitamin K especially is important for bone health. And a lot of women are concerned about bone health. Also under the immune system, fish oil. If you only take one thing, take fish oil. If you only take one thing, take fish oil. Because it's good for your heart, it's good for your liver, it's good for your skin, it's good for your muscles, it's good for your fat, it's good for everything. And if you think about your joints, all your major joints have fluid in them, and that fluid has body oil in it. And if you don't change the oil in your joints, they're going to wear out faster. We have an epidemic in this country of hip replacements and knee replacements. An epidemic. Why are all these people having all these problems? And I think one of them is because they're not putting the right nutrients in their body and they're not changing the oil in their system. So fish oil, if you're only going to take one thing, that's the thing. CoQ10. CoQ10 is a very important heart enzyme. And it's a toss-up to me on which one you should take if you're only going to take one thing, because we have a whole list of, don't have my folder, but we have a whole list with 6 pages on it of which medication you take and which nutrient is depleted. And it's not a list to say you shouldn't take that medication. You should take that medication that was prescribed for you, but you need to fill back in the stuff it's kicking out. And the number one ingredient that's knocked out is CoQ10. And it's very important. Why do we have so many people with heart problems? Have you heard of somebody who has a heart problem but doesn't have a plumbing problem with it? You know, where the heart problem's not blockage. Well, they have an electrical problem, or they have AFib. CoQ10, very, very important. Powdered vitamin C. I take this a half a teaspoon every day in the wintertime, or from Labor Day to Memorial Day, and I very rarely ever get sick. And this powdered C is a really good product. It's got calcium and magnesium in it as well, and it's just one of those basic things that you would do. Now, that's for basic immune system support. Why don't I take it in the summer? The weather's better. You know, cold weather affects our systems, heat in our houses and so forth. But there are 3 things that we take if we're gonna get sick. If we feel like something's coming on and you don't wanna run to the store and get NyQuil, it's not gonna make a difference for you. If you're taking the vitamin C on a daily basis, a half a teaspoon, you go to twice a day if you start to feel a little bit run down. If you get that scratchy throat and it starts to come on a little bit, you take a zinc lozenge. The zinc lozenges, you suck on those, right? You don't chew them, it says chewable, but you suck on them, and the zinc goes right locally into your throat. And I would say in 90% plus of the cases, if you start taking it the same day you get the scratchy throat, it'll be gone in 24 hours.
Yes, I can attest.
And Viricid is a little bubble packet of specific nutrients that are good to fight a virus. So there are no antibiotics don't fight viruses. They fight bacteria. They don't. Most of the things that go around are viruses. And this Viricid, you take 1 an hour for a whole day, and it usually will knock it out. So we bump up our vitamin C, we take our zinc lozenges, and then we take a Viricid bubble pack, and that makes a big difference. Also, if you do get sick, Orthomune is a very big product because it's got N-acetylcysteine in it. I had COVID once and I had a mild case of it, but when the COVID thing first came down, I went to our suppliers and said, okay, what should I put in a COVID kit? So if I get test positive for COVID, what should I take? Well, Orthomune was the #1 thing that was in there because of the N-acetylcysteine. They had me taking the Viricid. I did get it. I took my supplements. I had my supplements in the drawer. I pulled them out. I started taking them, and bam. I missed a week of work only because I had a cough. And I don't want to be in the office with a cough, but I was over the effects of the virus within 72 hours. And I felt very strong about that. If you're going to take a multi, General Health, we have the best multi that I've seen on the market, which is Avides Multi. So if it's somebody who wants to take a multivitamin, and I encourage that, it's just you can't think that covers everything. But this Avides Multi is the best one that I've seen on the market. Most of my whole family takes that. And we've heard a lot about weight loss lately. A lot of people are taking the drugs, and I personally am not a fan. I think that they're gonna find a few years down the road that people are gonna have some new illnesses because of taking those drugs. But again, that's not my business. I can't tell people to take it or not to take it. It's not within my scope of practice. But we have a couple of different products of appetite suppressants that are natural that you can take that kind of help you bridge the gap between your meals and avoid snacks. I did this for 6 weeks just to try it out because I like to try everything that we promote in the office. I lost 8 pounds in 6 weeks, and so I felt pretty good about that. But it's a product with a specific pattern that you have to take it with, but it is not medication. It does not have side effects. It's really a good product. Joint health and support. We all know that glucosamine sulfate is the basic building block of joint repair, and there are others. A lot of times for our new patients who come in who are in acute pain, we'll recommend a soft tissue support pack, which has the nutrients. You take 3 capsules a day, and you take it for 9 days. And it has the nutrients in it, anti-inflammatory, all the natural things to help you get over an injury faster.
Will you just repeat the name of that?
This is a soft tissue support pack, and it's only meant to be taken temporarily in the beginning of a new injury. So, Harold, if you dig a big hole and you hurt your back and you come in for a couple of extra adjustments, it's a good thing to go on for the 9 days. I think it's 9 days, over that 9 days to help that out. Sinuses and allergies. Probably the second biggest problem to digestive issues, and we have 2 amazing products for that. One is for seasonal and the other one is for chronic. I have chronic sinus issues because I happen to like dairy products, and if I didn't eat dairy products I wouldn't have any sinus issues, but I choose to eat them because I like them. And so I take Sinotrol on a daily basis throughout the whole year. But for our patients who have the seasonal allergies, those are the things that come on in the spring and the fall, or maybe they have pet allergies. The D-Hist is an amazing product. It helps fight. I don't know if you guys know that it's the release of histamine that causes the symptoms when you have an allergic response. And this D-Hist, so when you get sick, your body sends this particular type of cell to the area, and it's called a mast cell. And the mast cell is to fight the allergen. But the mast cell is filled with histamine. And when the mast cells get beat up by the virus, they open up and they let the histamine into your system. The natural D-Hist strengthens the cell wall of the mast cells so they're less likely to break free. And you take a loading dose, which is 2 capsules 3 times a day for 7 to 10 days, and then you just take it as needed after that. And so as soon as the pollen starts to come down, we have a lot of patients taking the natural D-Hist.
A quick question, what about Benadryl, just as an immediate hit?
I think you're better off in the long run if you don't have to use it. But if you have a severe allergic reaction, I certainly would take it just to prevent your throat from closing up. But if you get on if you have the right supplements and you have your little first aid kit of supplements and you feel those allergies coming on and you start drinking a ton of water, staying off the dairy and going on the D-Hist, I think you would find that you probably won't need Benadryl anymore. Again, we're always looking for the natural solutions to common health problems. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is another big issue in our country, which is anxiety, depression, poor sleep, adrenal burnout, which affects a lot of people. And it's National Mental Health Awareness Month right now. And a lot of people are suffering with these things, and they're taking powerful medications, and the medications have a poor success rate, and it's really a big problem in our country. And sometimes mental health problems can just start out with anxiety. You start with anxiety, and then that doesn't get treated, and then the anxiety grows, and then you're not sleeping well. And then if you've got anxiety and you're not sleeping, you can't turn your brain off, and then you get depressed. And it's this cycle. In most cases that I have seen, it's because your adrenal glands are burned out. Your adrenal glands are your energy glands. And it happened to me. I fortunately caught it before I went through that whole cycle. I caught it in the front end. And one of my specialists told me that taking B vitamins and adrenal support were the 2 things that made the difference. When I was 49 years old, I was getting heart palpitations. 49 years old. And I started taking those 2 supplements. After 3 months, all the symptoms went away. So what did I do? I stopped taking them. It all came back. So I've been taking those 2 products for 20 years now. And because I work hard, I play hard, I'm pushing my adrenal glands all the time, and I support my adrenal glands with those 2 products, and I don't have a problem. If I go off the wagon and start taking them, stop taking them again, I'll feel those symptoms start to come back, and I know right away that I should be back on those products. So those are very important things. So what did we learn today? I've thrown a lot at you today. This is going to be posted on our website in an edited form so that you can follow up. I see that you've taken notes. That's great. We've learned about the chiropractic lifestyle components, the things that you can do to support. And it's not just to support your chiropractic care. It's to live a healthy life without having the burden of disease and medication. And as we get older, that becomes a bigger problem. You go into these doctors' offices and they're full of sick people. They're not helping people get well. They're just maintaining them. We, on the other hand, you come into our office and look at the waiting room and it's full of healthy people because we're teaching people the right stuff. We've learned who takes supplements and why. We've learned about the 4 supplement qualities. We learned the difference between medication and nutrition. What's depleting our body of the good stuff. Commonly, naturally treatable conditions. We've learned about the most popular supplements. And one thing I didn't teach you was the stuff that I'm taking. I think I alluded to it, but this is my tray from home. This is my powdered C. This is my B vitamins. This is my adrenal support. This is my vitamin D that I only take in the wintertime. It's almost empty. And then this is my Sinotrol that I take usually in the wintertime as well. And then here's my powerful probiotic sod that I take after I travel. And this is just my little routine that I take. And back to that survey, the survey said that the average person spends about $48 a month on supplements. And my goal is to get people to spend that $48 on the right stuff so that they're taking good care of themselves. And we've learned how the lack of nutrients can hurt your adjustments, and we learned that everybody should be taking something. Everybody's got a deficiency. We should be taking something. So 2 things that we're offering from today's seminar is that one of the most common things we do is you take all the stuff that you're taking and you put it in a little CVS bag and you come on in and we sit down. I have you fill out a questionnaire about your health and what you're concerned about, and we look at all your products. And the most common thing that I see is people are taking multiple things with the same stuff in them. They're overdosing on certain things because they don't realize it's in multiple things because they may not understand the words that are written in number 2 font on the back of these labels that we have to use a magnifying glass to find. You want to make sure that we're not taking too much of one thing, and we want to make sure that we're taking enough of the right stuff. So we're offering a 10% discount on your first order if you do the consultation. We don't charge for that, and we straighten your supplements out. Whatever you start taking, we'll give you 10% off on your first order, or anything that you want to take today, you'll get 10% off. And we also have a company called FullScript. And FullScript is an online ordering system that you can order the pharmaceutical grade supplements that we recommend. But we have to put it on your list so that you just can't go in there and go shopping and say, oh, I want that, I want that. Maybe with some companies, but we want to make sure you're taking stuff that's, number 1, not going to hurt you, but number 2, is really going to help you. So that's the informational portion. I got done, in about 30 minutes, so I feel good about that. But if you have any specific questions, I can answer those at this time, but otherwise we're off. Yes?